Give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me like a lassie. Must shit to shit, set a feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive. Woke up in the morning, sleepy eyes yawning. Jumped out of bed, started the day, opened the curtains. Felt the cool breeze, the sun shining on my face. But something was missing, I needed my job to chase. Give me coffee in the morning, give me coffee in the morning, gotta have the caffeine. Wake me up, shake me up, dip me like a lassie. Must shit to shit, set a feeling so alive. Coffee in the morning, it's the best way to survive.
Good morning and happy Halloween. Is it like for real Halloween, guys? Y'all know me. Clocks, calendars, what the heck is that? Happy Halloween, everybody. It's kind of freaky that it's Halloween, isn't it? All right. I woke up this morning and I had sunshine and it felt great because I've not seen the sunshine in over a week, literally, and I don't like it. You can take that cold, dreary, cloudy, whatever that was happening outside my window, and it can go far, far away from me. So I woke up happy and peaceful. I picked my diamonds up off the floor. And a couple of realizations hit me. So welcome in, everybody. If y'all don't mind, please hit the little like button. That's some YouTube mess they like y'all to do. Helps out the little channel over here. Helps get the message out. Helps get the like-minded people to come to the community. I don't know how it works, but you're welcome to come and join the conversation as long as you bring intelligence behind it. Welcome in. Grab your coffee, your tea, whatever that morning vice might be. We're going to unpack some stuff here in the Idaho 4 case. We do have that restitution hearing coming up in a few days. We're going to cover that here. It's not like nothing groundbreaking. It's just Koberger whining over there like the rest of these defendants do over some money. So we're going to take a look at a couple of documents that have dropped about the restitution, and we're also going to review the Doordash driver, Molly. Good golly, Miss Molly, get back in the car. There's a madman running around with a K-bar. She just didn't even know it. Poor thing unpacked her life. Welcome on in, everybody. I hope y'all were able to decompress a little bit, touch some grass, as long as your weather cooperated. I'm having to adjust because I'm so used to sitting outside for like hours, and it's too cold to do that. But this morning I was able to get out there and sit in the sun, listen to the birds, and drink my coffee. It was so nice. Y'all changing handles down there? Don't be doing that to us. We got to get used to a new handle. Okay. Okay, so just one thing I want to get out of the way before we start this morning's proceedings here, because we're going to get on to true crime around here, and we're going to do it the best way we know how to do it going forward. That's what we've always attempted to do around here. So for those of you who do come for that, I so do appreciate it, because it's really hard in true crime right now to get people to come to true crime. They want to come and see, what creator's going after what creator today, what can we talk about the today, and if we don't quite understand what's going on, we'll make that shit up. So, all you critical thinkers who think you got it all figured out and it's some little woman scorned, butthurt creator situation, please check yourself at the door. And remember, follow the facts. And when you're not clear what those facts are, maybe you should seek out a way to find the facts before you insert your opinions based on rumor that you concocted in your head, because it's easier for you to understand it that way. Now, there's another lie I'm going to pop off here in about 30 minutes. I'm going to have to catch her on the replay. I noticed her in my chat. I got some secret mad respect for that lady. She's somebody I follow because of another case that I'm not going to speak on today. But I follow her. We rarely interact. We don't really, we have there's nothing there. I just follow this person because I find them intelligent and I like them. Turns out, Little Miss Can't Be Wrong really does try to control a narrative behind the scenes. So for all of you who still can't figure out what that drama is all about, maybe you should seek out the truth. And one final thought, in case you're watching, Joe, to see if we talk about you today, here's my final thought on the situation. You couldn't keep Kresha in your thoughts and take in what you really did to a victim. It was never about you took a picture. So all of y'all who are confused about why a victim was upset with Joe Schmo, it wasn't because he took a picture for Lauren, somebody she had a beef with. She's not a creator, people. She's a victim. She's got every right to be on the YouTubes just like all of y'all do. So before you go around trashing her experience and putting that shit off on Salty's got a problem with Joe, take it private, check yourself. Because apparently Lauren wants to send text messages to people and say, oh, please don't use that picture. Let me send you a better one. Huh. Did the Gonzalezes and the Mogans get to make that decision? We're not talking about Karen Laramie's feelings today, are we, Lauren? We're so fucking harped on yours. Here we go. Let's get into the Idaho 4 stuff and talk about real victims and what happens to victims' families along the way. And everybody out there, oh, they got some GoFundMe money. Shove your GoFundMe money up your fucking ass. I don't believe it was your child that died. So sit down with your opinions on what their GoFundMes did. We don't care. Oh, and furthermore, for those still in big debate on the internet about whether Brian Coer can make bank off a book, yeah, he can. It's a simple Google search. I don't need to sit and watch some people hash it out on a live panel for 4 or 5 hours about whether or not this can happen or not. All money that Brian Koberger receives, no matter how he gets it, commissary donations, mother adding money to the books, or random people on the internet loading up the shit in case he get hungry later. In Ramsland's future book that's going to come out, mark my words, it's coming. She's all up in that mix, and I really hope she is. Because I need someone to dive deep into that mind. Y'all need some research assistance, please call. Because I'm ready to take on that task. Dr. B, you hear me? I work for free. And I got lots of thoughts on this guy's mind and how it worked. But Brian Koberger can write a book. Catherine Ramsland can actually write the book. It doesn't matter who writes a book. The victims will get that money. So have at it. Write the book. Because I'd like to hear it from Koberger's own words, not some fictional writer's words and sources and all the stuff. I'm so sick of sources. We need the facts, ma'am. She's so thirsty. Dolphin. And honestly, guys, if I'm being honest with y'all, if I was in her position doing that for a living, I'd want exclusive everything to that man's mind. Are you kidding me? That's bank right there. Not just for money, for study purposes. Jesus Christ is what the woman does for a living. If she ain't studying that brain, we are seriously in trouble. I don't care if she's doing it for money or not. Please do it legitimately, right? And don't come making up shit about Koberger. We don't need that. Give us the truth. Future criminalists will need to look at that research when these new hybrid killers continue to pop out of the woodworks. All right, let me pull up this first document. Oh, and it wasn't hard to figure out, Joe. It really wasn't that hard. The more people who reach out and share their experience, and we were all like, damn, no wonder we were all individually pulling back quietly. Isn't it odd how you chose not to come out and support Kresha and own what you did? And the loudest person in the room speaking for Lauren Matthias is Valo's cousin. That friendship you hold so dear and near. And we all need a Grayson in our lives. They've been in your ear for a fucking week, dude, telling you Kresha's wrong. Everybody hear that loud and clear? That's what's really going on behind the scenes, Joe Schmo. So as you're talking to me and all them other women trying to flatter us by telling us we got great questions, listen to Megan's voice some more and really know that it's a Valo whisper campaign. Have a good life. We got real deranged psychos to think about. All right, so the defense put out a motion, because poor little Koberger over there, he's got to clean them damn shoes and worry about them vent people. That's more important, by God. Gotta stay safe in here. I might have some lady hit me up through the vent and need me to knock her up today. Lori, sit down, girl. Sit down. Don't get no ideas. We don't need no demon babies. All right, okay, it's up there. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is defendant's objection to the state's request for additional restitution. Comes now Brian C. Koberger, by and through his attorney of record, and hereby objects to the state's request for additional restitution. Filed September 22nd, 2025. Oh, and before we get too deep into this, we have got to give JLR a big shout out. You go, Bubba. Thank you. Damn it, man. Thank you, JLR. Because we all knew when you live streamed Barry Morphew's last hearing, we were done. Now, guess what? We are officially done. We don't get to see nothing going down in the Barry Morphew case because people like JLR decided he didn't have to follow the rules. So y'all go on over there and give that man some more likes and views and thumbs up. JLR gets the goods. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. The grounds for objection are that the plea agreement specified funeral expenses and funds reimbursed through Idaho Crime Victim Compensation Fund in the amount to be determined within 60 days. Well, let me tell you what, when you walk into a funeral home all of a sudden out of the fucking blue and you got to make some real fast decisions, money's not the top of your subject. That'll come later. Asshole. And oh, let me get out of my feels and not project my feelings onto the case. I'm not supposed to have any. The plea agreement specified funeral expenses and funds reimbursed. Okay, Koberger stipulated to those amounts. That's nice of him, resulting in court orders in the amount of $28,956.88. The additional funds sought do not qualify as an economic loss. Oh, they didn't lose time from work or nothing. No time to mourn or grieve or cry. They had to pick out a casket or an urn and went all right back to work and earned that buck the good old American way. Might get the lights turned off if I don't take my ass to work. Because society don't give a fuck. Stephen Christy Gonzalez and Karen Laramie received extensive funds through multiple GoFundMe campaigns that specifically asked for covered the expenses. I got an idea for all you pro burgers out there. Y'all can start a GoFundMe for Brian Koberger's expenses as well. I'm sure that y'all got a lot of people who are willing to donate to that. I'm pretty sure y'all can make bank by the end of the day if y'all want to start him a little GoFundMe. Make it even and all. How dare them families ask for a dime to get back and forth to court after we move it counties away, and because fair trial and all that. Mr. Koberger has no ability now in the future or in the future to pay restitution because he is serving 4 consecutive life sentences. Well, who the hell's fault is that? A judgment was entered against Mr. Koberger on July 23, 2025. The plea agreement stated the state may seek restitution orders regarding funeral expenses and crime victims' compensation reimbursement in an amount to be determined. The judgment of conviction ordered $251,227.50 in criminal fees. $20,000 is a civil judgment. Oh, he really should have thought twice about his actions that night, and I'm pretty sure going the other way to stargaze would have been the better idea. Go sort it out in your head, baby. You coffee because murder is wrong. And my cup is empty. I better fix that. With respect to the Crime Victims Compensation Program and funeral expenses, the parties stipulated on August 27th of 2025 to $28,956.88, and corresponding orders were entered on August 28th of 2025. On September 22nd, the state filed its response. Y'all are such word salad people. We just get on with your fancy little, just get on with it. Seeking an exhibit of $20,409.32 for Christy and Steve Gonzalez, and $6,920.32 for Karen Laramie. An itemized statement with receipts was attached. Idaho demands some itemized receipts. Go ask Lori Vallow. She's still demanding those before she pays Kay Woodcock restitution. Like that's going to bring JJ and Tally back tomorrow. No documentation showing reimbursement by the Crime Victims Compensation Fund was included. And let me remind everybody, the G's attorney, Shannon Gray, in Idaho, he was the attorney for Kay and Larry Woodcock in Idaho, who fought for them to have a front seat row in Lori Vallow's trial long before Koberger ever fucking came along. In case you missed it. The receipts relate to the travel and accommodation. Argument. The plea agreement is ambiguous about the restitution categories Mr. Koberger agreed to pay, and once receipts and verification were provided, he stipulated accordingly. The court must consider contractual terms. Contractual terms? Do they have a contract when their life would expire? Damn. Terms that are expressly provided in the plea agreement. Fuck that plea agreement. As well as those contractual terms that are implied. citing State versus Doe, giving the express language in the plea agreement. The only additional receipts submitted that may fall within the contractual terms are those for the urns. We're going to get real technical and look like an ass today. God forbid they buy an urn to put their baby's ashes in. Oh, wait, those GoFundMe people, they provided that for them because this man took their baby's life. Gotcha. Gotcha. Morally corrupt bastards. Economic loss. Economic loss includes, but is not limited to, the value of property taken, destroyed, broken, or harmed, lost wages, direct out of pocket expenses, such as medical expenses resulting from the criminal conduct, but does not include less tangible damage, such as pain, suffering, wrongful death, and emotional distress. Emphasis added. Several GoFundMe campaigns resulted in funds raised in the Gonzalez and Laramie families. Specifically, one GoFundMe campaign for Madison and Kaylee raised $73,000, 493 cents. These funds were promoted as going to both families. Oh, they provided their link. Last visited October 6, 2025. We know you've been watching social media for a long damn time, and it became very obvious to me when you began to do the same things that the Delphi attorneys were attempting to do. But nobody wanted to pay attention because your shiny little client was all the rage. All the rage. We created that high profile case, not Brian Koberger. We, the people, did. Another GoFundMe campaign for Karen Laramie raised $48,815. Helps Maddie's family attend the Idaho trial. Boy, Koberger, you ain't that dumb after all. Well, part of if I do take that agreement, then I can bite him in the ass later and get them all in the back with my little, I don't owe you no money now. I ain't got no trial. Dude, the next level narcissism in this world right now. Y'all, we bred this shit by coddling a whole generation for the last 20 years. It's okay. You got some disorders. We have to overlook your behavior. There's a disorder behind it. Don't worry about fixing it, though. We got you. We understand. Also clarified that the funds were, in fact, used to travel to Boise for hearings, included the sentencing. Last visited on October 6th. Who cares? I'll go visit it right now to give you something to talk about, Ann. You want to add that? You need to up that number, baby girl. I'm about to go visit that little website. Hell, I might have $1 or $2 to throw in. I don't usually do that stuff. Things are tight. A third GoFundMe campaign for Steve and Christy Gonzalez raised $85,583 for the purpose of attending the court hearings. Maybe I'll go put some money on Koberger's books for shits and fucking giggles, knowing the family will get 20%. Let's flip the script, Bubba. Oh, you want a vegan meal? No. It's got to go to restitution. Stop it. Given the specific funds sought and obtained for expenses to travel to Boise, the request should be denied because neither family suffered an economic loss. Because neither family suffered an economic loss for that which the state seeks reimbursement. Both families did indicate a desire to refund any donations after the case resolved after sentencing. But whether they were able to accomplish this donor's requested refunds returned is not included in the state's motion. And you need to sit all the way down and mind your business. And I'm really waiting to see when you finally decide to do and who you do it with. Yes, ma'am, some of us have style and we can think about the big picture. Why is that defense team in Koberger's case so quiet? Well, put on your thinking caps. Put on them thinking caps. Don't let it hurt. Adjust it. You may have a strap in the back or something. Other factors that the court deems appropriate: need and earning ability of the defendant. Well, he can make some license plates. What do they do in Idaho for money? Inmate workers. I haven't looked that up yet. I know what kind of foods you can order and all that fancy shit. I want to know what kind of jobs you gonna get a job in the kitchen, Coburger. You can put a snack in your pocket when nobody's looking. Contraband that shit right back up into your cell. Economic losses addressed above is so much more fun to tear down a defendant than a woman's eyebrows. I tell you what. Economic losses addressed above and in light of the GoFundMe donations. The specific funds for which Gonzalez and Laramie seek reimbursement travel to Boise. There is no sustained income loss. So, are you saying if they had to go to trial for as many months as you plan to take it there, Anne, which I'm confused as to why it would have taken so long to prove your guy's innocence as you tear down weak to witnesses on the witness stand, that was to be expected. But I don't. How would it not have been a financial loss? Because they would have had to miss work to go, right? You understand that, right? But Koberger decided we don't get a trial. He gets to call all the shots every step of the way. And I was watching Gavin Fish last night because he had on Joe Scott Morgan talking about the Kata Scott case. Because I like to listen to me some Joe Scott. Because sometimes I do like to listen to intelligence about a crime scene. Because it intrigues the shit out of me, right? And Gavin was talking about the laws in Pennsylvania because he's in Pennsylvania, right? And how hard it is to get information out of Pennsylvania. Because apparently they like to dance in the dark a little bit like Indiana over there. No one likes to live in the sunshine but me, apparently. We do know those people in Indiana love to dance in the dark for some reason. We can't figure out that dark shadow going down over there. We don't even want to try anymore. Tippecanoe, fucking Indiana. And that is the weirdest thing because when I said a year ago, something is weird about Tippecanoe, Indiana, and I cannot put my finger on it. Didn't I, dude? I just couldn't, something bothered me. And I expressed that. Isn't that weird? My ancestors were talking to me and I fucking didn't listen. Now I'm getting popped in the back of the head by my granny. Ouch. Additionally, Mr. Koberger has no ability to earn money or pay money given for his 4 consecutive. Does she want us to let him out so he can go to work? We got the chain gang still exist. You need a little road crew action. We got some potholes to fix. That's how we do it in Florida. We'll put their ass right out there on the street and chain them up. Fix that pothole, baby. We don't want to pay for busted up tires. Unlike other cases where the Idaho courts have ordered restitution for short and long prison sentences, Koberger's is different. Oh, yeah, here we go. He's different. He got style. Damn it, man. He will never. Where is Dr. John when we need him? I need an expert panel opinion. He will never have the ability to pay restitution, even though he stipulated 2 restitution amounts. There is no foreseeable ability for him to ever make a payment. And you got the inside scoop on what Ramsland's doing with your client, because he's still your client. Who you kidding, ma'am? Under Idaho law, he will never be able to profit. Really? Really? And Section 195301. Okay. Okay. We'll take a look at that statue in a minute. Conclusion. For all those reasons above stated, Koberger objects to the request for additional restitution. Objection, Your Honor. Have you met your judge, Koberger? you switched, remember? You and Ann weren't satisfied with the thinker. He took too long to think because he didn't want to make the wrong decision. Y'all wanted to move the trial to Ada County, where the big boys played. They had all the fucking. Dude, they handled the Vallow and Daybell case. But y'all needed to go there. Smart move, man. Look what happened when you got there. You got called conspiracy theorists. Eyes got rolled at you. Face palms were happening. We were all fucking entertained by that wonderful judge. So, actually, good move, Ann. We can't fault you for that one, sister. You just didn't think it through very good. Should have stuck to the judge you knew, but you had to go dance with the one you didn't know and thought it was all going to work out in your benefit. Or actually, you probably knew the whole time that you effective counsel and all that shit. All right. Let's see. Right? Butterfly says all that money she got from We the People to help Koberger, they could use that. How much money did he get, right? What's that grand total, all the amount of money he was sent? The state's apparently got a list of people. Can we see that unsealed? No, because by God, their personal information will be out there and we can't look at that. But wouldn't it be intriguing to see actually who's been sending Koberger money? Sirius says she remembers being down in Gainesville and she saw a man carrying a sign that says, I stole from this store. Like those moms that put the kid on the corner for a minute there. That was a trend. I was bad today, so I got to be punished. People are like, oh, how dare you do that to that baby? What's your baby's doing today? Worrying you to no end? Afraid they're going to end up in the prison? Don't be that mother. Calling out them other mothers for trying to discipline their babies. How dare they? And then tomorrow you're going to scream, what's wrong with society today? What's wrong with these kids? Well, shit, y'all shamed their parents yesterday for trying to apply punishment the best way they knew how because nothing else was working. Come on in with your judgmental shit. Come on in with it. All right. So what did the state say in response to this hearing document? Or the hearing restitution hearing stuff? Comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and specifically and respectfully responds to the defendant's objection to the state's request for additional restitution filed on October 7th. The state acknowledges Rule 11 plea agreement filed herein regarding restitution under Section 4. The state may seek restitution orders regarding funeral expenses and crime victims' compensation reimbursement in the amount to be determined. At the time of the plea agreement, the state was under the impression certain expenses incurred by the victims' families would be covered by crime victims' compensation. After the sentencing hearing, the state was informed by crime victims' compensation will not cover travel and lodging expenses for attendance of court proceedings. On behalf of the victims, the state submits the itemization of expenses that were incurred by the victims' families, including expenses not covered by crime victims' compensations for the court's consideration. This is affirmatively advocating for payment of funeral expenses as itemized by the state's Exhibit 2 pursuant to the plea agreement. The defendant argues that the requested restitution should not qualify as direct economic loss, since the victims' families received third-party donations. Under Idaho Code 195304 and controlling precedent, directly injured victims may receive full restitution despite third-party payments unless those third parties qualify as statutory victims through contractual obligations. Applying the Cheney analysis to the case, charitable donations such as those received through GoFundMe arise from vocabulary generosity rather than legal obligations. Since charitable donors lack contractual obligations to pay victims, they cannot qualify as statutory victims under Idaho law, or that code, 195304. Therefore, the payments do not reduce the defendant's restitution obligation to the direct injured victims under the code. This is also supported by public policy consideration, focusing on making the victim of a crime whole for a defendant's criminal conduct rather than accounting for the victim's good fortune and receiving community support. Their good fortune. Lastly, the defendant argues that restitution should not be awarded based on the defendant's ability to earn money or pay money given his 4 consecutive life sentences plus 10 years. Defendant's objection, page 4 under the code, provides clear authority for courts to order restitution from life sentence defendants. The statute mandates that the court shall order a defendant found guilty of any crime which results in an economic loss to the victim to make restitution to the victim unless the court determines restitution would be appropriate or inappropriate, or undesirable. The immediate inability to pay restitution shall not be in and of itself a reason to deny restitution. While Idaho law permits orders for life sentence defendants, courts retain discretion to determine whether restitution is appropriate in individual cases. The discretion enables courts to consider the specific circumstances of life sentence cases, including the defendant's age, health, realistic earnings, and all. Lord, I gotta go explain the law to Anne. By way of example, the state is attaching a summary of the financial contributions made to the defendant while he is in custody at the Ada County Jail and the Latah County Jail. Those are going to be in Exhibit 3. In the event the defendant is able to obtain financial compensation from third parties or family, the victim should have already access to these assets for satisfaction of their losses. Additionally, this case has and will continue to attract worldwide attention, which could result in the defendant prospectively receiving monies subject to interception by the state treasurer pursuant to Idaho Code. Restitution orders may be recorded as civil judgments under the code and should be collected from any monies prospectively deposited in the escrow with the state treasurer. Based on the above, the state hereby amends the request for restitution filed under the plea agreement. Now they attached an exhibit. It's in the other document, but they have an exhibit attached. Of course, like I said, it's sealed, but it's a list of all those commissary donations and the names of all the individuals on there who gave the money. And it is under the law, they can take 20% of whatever he comes into his commissary. And I don't know if they do it like a monthly deal, because usually in a county, in Florida, in a county jail, there's a cap on how much you can get per month. And a percentage of that will go to reimburse the state for your keep. But like $2 out of the 50, I think it is. But I don't know what it had the prison as far as, is it, a monthly, if they do a total and take a part of that. I don't know how they do it. Right, just give that man a shoe shine kit and call it a day. That's all he needs. Plenty of something to wipe it down with. That's all he needs, man. So the hearing will be November 5th. Is it right? The 5th, and it will be a Zoom hearing. As far as I can understand, it is going to be aired, just like all the other stuff in the Koberger case. I don't even think it's going to be long. You know what I mean? We'll take a look at it and make sure of what's happening there. But they're not going to. He'll probably appear from the damn prison in a little room. All right, guys. So the interview with the Doordash driver is out there now, and it's the recorded video audio interview with Molly. And we know that Molly made statements, in the written reports. We know that we've reviewed that DUI stop from long ago that was discovered here on the YouTube. And the person who took credit for discovering it did not get it through a FOIA request. They jacked it off somebody's channel and took full credit for it, and everybody fell for it. But anyway, we reviewed that here. And Molly, was saying stuff like to the cop that pulled her over, that was, all that stuff. She was saying that, I was a DoorDash driver. I was right there. I pulled in. I parked right next to the guy, next to Coburger. Ma'am, the two main witnesses for the state of Idaho were very problematic. And that's just not my assumption because they're sketchy. That is why they're problematic, because what their statements are sketchy. Because the minute Molly's traffic stop thing went viral, state of Idaho requested all that information from the county who had it. And they reviewed what Molly said during that traffic stop. It didn't match what Molly said in her statements way back when they first took them, right? And we know that in this case, if you have followed from the beginning, you clearly know everybody was pointing fingers at the DoorDash driver, right? So, but if you're a cop and you learn that there was a food delivery, what kind of questions are you going to ask that last person that was there, right? Just like, what are you going to ask of the last person who is now awake 8 hours later and realizing something devastating happened? You should have hard questions for all of them, and listen to what they say, right? That first interview, don't make any assumptions. Just let them talk and see where it leads you. So when people do a initial interview, people love to jump up like they're coddling that person. They're not asking the right questions. Think about it for a minute. If I want someone to get comfortable and tell me exactly what they saw, heard, and did, I got to be the better psychoanalyzer here, right? You can't let that narcissist outwit you. Not in the end when that mask falls off. You're like, whoa, fuck, that's scary as shit. Happy Halloween and all. Old school Halloween mask we couldn't breathe through. You had to get something, poke a hole in the nose thingies. You'd walk around halfway through trick or treating with your mask raised up because you just couldn't breathe anymore. That's how old I am. Somebody was sharing pictures of those old costumes on Twitter, and it made me remember those old things. I like to be a witch every year. That or a gypsy. I could dress up, no mask involved, and I either wanted to be a witch or a gypsy. There was no in between. Well, you take those two and you mish them together, you got me. I'm learning how to build a better boat. When I get done, the thing may not float, but hey, I try. All right. So this is Molly McMichaels, the DoorDash driver. This was conducted 11/23/2022. So the 13th is when the crime occurred. We were still unclear for the longest time. Did the cops find out about this order and that's how they led to Molly? Or did the DoorDash driver self-report? Right? And it appeared that they self-reported, but not for a few days. So I don't know if she saw it on the news, something happened, and you're like, because I did DoorDash drive for a while, and I would go to the same locations over and over a lot of times, same neighborhoods, same area, a lot of times the same houses. You kind of get familiar with that area you deliver in or whatever. If I saw in the news something happened at one of those locations and I went back to my app, I'm like, you know what? I was just there. It may take me a couple of days to realize that's the place I was at, right? Critical thinking and all. All right, so we're going to start this video. I'm going to go run fresh up my coffee real quick while it starts, and we'll see what Miss Molly has to say. Here we go.
It's a weird name too. He put down a strange name. I can't even remember what it was, but it was.
And y'all let me make sure in chat, make sure y'all let me know if you can hear it. It's redacted right there. That's the beginning of it. The sound will be on in just a second. I'm going to go run and grab the coffee. Let me know if you can hear it when it starts.
So it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. I've talked a lot, so I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to. Thanks, how you doing?
Yeah, he's very good. He loves everybody.
Hi, baby. Hi. You're pretty cute, man.
He's 2.5 pounds and 4 years old.
Oh, I thought you were a big fella, aren't you? Yeah.
So yeah, when he passed away, I got to keep him. So he stayed with me.
So, like Alex was saying, we're gonna just take it nice and easy, okay? So we have a map here if you need it, okay? So, just let us know what else you need. I'm gonna take some notes,
Okay.
but don't think I'm not paying attention to you.
No,
We're just,
I'm not ready.
my brain doesn't work that great sometimes, so I gotta write stuff down or I'll forget it, okay? So I guess the first thing we'll do today is just kind of start, if you wouldn't mind, by, you know, when you got your first order that night and when you delivered your last one. Can you just tell me about
As
that?
far as that night went, I think I worked a total of like 18 hours that night. So I mean, but to focus on here, I mean, the 3 calls that I got from there were all relatively around the same time. There was 2 calls to the apartment complex next to it, the brick apartment complex. One was a big order, large. It's a weird name too. He put down a strange name. I can't even remember what it was, but it was. Some people like to play with the names when they make orders, and it was definitely one of those. Somebody screwing around being.
Lord, that's the truth. That's
They
the
were all
truth.
Jack in the Box orders too, because at that time nothing's open but Jack in the Box around here. The other one that I did was, I think it. I'm trying to remember, but same thing. That apartment. It was in the center section. By the time I got to that, the one that we're here for, it was my last last call for that night, or for that pretty much evening. In fact, when I got back to Jack in the Box that night, they thought I wasn't coming back and had thrown away the orders. They had to remake my orders so I could deliver them because I didn't think I was coming back.
Yeah.
They thought I'd just wait for the night.
Gotcha.
Have you been there at night at that house?
Yes, I have. Yep.
Okay, so you know that the number for the house is right there under the light, and it's very hard to see at night. That was probably my biggest problem, was trying to find the number. I didn't actually realize that I was there,
Yeah.
which is why I was probably there for about 15 minutes. And my clock, or my map on my phone that tells me where to go, kept telling me to go up and around.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of, I actually initially pulled and parked up right there, right in front, but I didn't see the number, so I didn't know. And my map kept telling me to go up and around and in there. I kind of walked around with my flashlights on my phone, trying to figure out where it was. I remember when I pulled up, I saw the girl in the window that he told you about.
The girl in the window. The way she describes the girl in the window, and I'm going to get real past what color hair she says this girl had, because it's dark. And I don't know how Molly can see what color hair the girl had. Let's be honest. She can't see the house numbers because the light is shining directly down, blinding it, right? So I don't understand how she sees a hair color, because the only dark-haired girl in that house is going to be Xana. And where she describes seeing the girl is not Xana's bedroom. But think about what she says the girl's doing. Now, if I'm a girl who lives in that house and I've noticed there's a guy in the back occasionally peeping in and out of the woods, shadows and such, I might wonder what the hell that person out front with a flashlight's doing walking around too, and I might not want them to see me looking out my window at them. Just a thought.
Up at that top window on the left, I would swear that she was swinging on a hammock or something, but she could just...
She was swinging on a hammock. She sees a girl through a window that looks like she's swinging on a hammock. What kind of Dylan Mortensen shit is that? I'm sorry, but what, Molly? Shadows and all that. You don't know what you're seeing, but you know what color hair she had.
on the top of the bed or something. It seemed odd because she was watching me. And usually when you do an order and that's somebody sees you, if that's where it's from, they see you, they come running down to the door, whether it's a no contact order or not.
So it was a no contact order, like most of them. You'll get that occasional hand it to me. Most of them are no contact. All that means is you set it down, you snap a picture, you hit send. Doordash notifies the customer through Twilio number system set up there, so we don't exchange private numbers with one another. That's how Twilio is involved. Now, I know, ma'am, you wanted to make it a whole ass thing over there with a bunch of videos about it, but you didn't understand what you were talking about. It was pretty funny. But somebody who actually did it and knew, that don't matter. She got good research. Kopaka and all. Anyway, so she says no contact. But what I am confused about something, because Molly's sitting there telling me for 15 minutes she walked around with that app telling her to go in that back door. After a few minutes, that app would have said, "Are you feeling safe? You appear to be lost. You appear to be going in the wrong direction." And you don't want the food to get cold while you're trying to find the place. God forbid.
And she jumped right down as soon as she saw me and saw that I saw her. I noticed several times as I was walking around and trying to find the place, she would pop back up in the window and I would see her again.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I think this is what you saw. Okay. Show me support.
What's it doing? Hold on, I want to... Early this morning, the internet acted funny for a minute. Like I couldn't even get Restream to work right. I just thought it was Restream. I don't know if I'm having issues today. And this is actually about to change, because it's time for a cool change in more ways than one. We'll get to that eventually. Lord, it's going to let me take it down and back up. I'm going to replay what she says about the girl in the window, because my big mouth interrupted. And keep in mind, too, the time frame this is happening. Because this is like, she's there fixing to make a delivery. Coburger's already circling the hood. He's about to come in. Who's awake up there, right? Besides Xana and, well, Dylan and Bethany. Okay.
That top window on the left, I would swear that she was swinging on a hammock or something, but she could have just been on the top of a bed or something. It seemed odd because she was watching me. And usually when you do an order and somebody sees you, if that's where it's from, they see you, they come running down to the door, whether it's a no contact order or not. And she jumped right down as soon as she saw me and saw that I saw her. I noticed several times as I was walking around and trying to find the place, she would pop back up in the window and I would see her again.
Okay. Give me 1 second. This is a
She would pop back up in the window again. So somebody's awake in that house. What, 3rd floor window to the left, looking at the house? That would be Kaylee and Maddie's floor. Did I misunderstand what she said? She said the top floor, right? To the left. So that's going to be the top floor of Maddie and Kaylee. Was it, they both had long hair. I don't recall seeing a hammock up there. Now, which bedrooms faced the front of that home? Maddie's bedroom window faced the back of the house. The bathroom, Kaylee's room, that window at the top of the landing there looks out over the, Lord, Molly. So one of them girls was awake. One noticed there's somebody out there with a flashlight.
Okay. Short is short.
Thank you.
Those are pretty good. I don't know if you've had them. They're pretty good.
I haven't. So I thought it was weird that she kept jumping in and out of the window. Long brown hair, younger girl. There were parties going on all around, lots of noise. I mean, they were everywhere. At one point, I remember I got in my car and I actually drove up here to see, because I thought maybe there was a road that's why my map kept trying to tell me to go up there. And I parked up there because it didn't go any further. And I stopped. And I parked and I got out and I was walking around with my flashlight. And I was looking through the bushes and I could see the inside courtyard. And all the lights and everything was open. And that's where the map was trying to get me to go, but I didn't feel comfortable going in there because there was no path.
That's a really good point, Kel. Because they will look for you, because they know, they get a notification you're on the way. They can literally track you and see you coming. So was it Xana up there hanging out with Maddie and Kaylee, or whoever was awake? It could have been. I don't know what Xana was doing prior to all this. I'm not going to pretend I know either, right? So it could have been Xana up there, and she just happened to be on the 3rd floor with whoever was awake playing with Murphy and all. So it could have been. And you would think, if she's watching for her, she would have texted her and said, hey, you got the right house. That usually happens a lot, too. They can text me through Twilio's number they provide.
It just seemed odd to have you walk in that way. It seemed like a back door. There was no apartment numbers on the order or anything. It was just the house number. There were no directions or any kind of clue to tell me to go that way.
Right. Yeah.
But I do remember that when I was walking with my flashlight on that road, there's nobody out there and it's dark. And I'm a girl and I've got a flashlight. A car came driving by. It was a sedan. It was tan. And the gentleman that was driving, I remember it because it was odd that he did not look at me. You see a girl out there walking around with a flashlight, you look, you see what's going on, and if they're nothing, just completely zoned and out of it, almost. And that's why I thought it was odd that he just drove by me. There was no stopping.
She can recall a lot of details. Or in her mind, they're details. I'm not sure yet. Jury's still out. But she says this guy drives by. Now think about how tight that little road is between the house and Queen Road Apartments. She's right there. He's going to drive right past her. Like there's like a 1-car road there, a little lane. And she found it odd he didn't look at her at all. Wonder what she was up to, running around in the darkness with a flashlight. I certainly would have wondered. My doors would have been locked. I'd have glanced at you and I'd have took a mental note of what I just saw and went on about my business and got my butt in my apartment and locked my door. But that's just me. This guy apparently did not acknowledge her, see her, but he was zoned out, she said. I don't know how she really got a good look at what the guy was doing except driving past her, right? Maybe he glanced out the corner of his eye and looked at her, but he didn't turn his whole head. So she's like, he just ignored me and went on. But she's not describing Koberger's car. And at one point on the body, the 112 footage, while Molly's there trying to figure out where to go, you can see Koberger's car, or a car that appears to be the same car, coming down Willenta Drive toward the neighborhood. And when he comes around, instead of taking that right and entering King Road like he had been doing, he kept going straight. Went around the whole ass neighborhood again before he came back. Now in the winter, Willenta Drive is pretty bare. And you can see all of King Roadhouse. You can see anything going on down there. Did he notice that car was out there, lights going on? I don't know. Who knows what his process was like? Who knows what he was thinking? Building up the courage? I don't know. But Molly noticing this about this driver and all this, I don't know who the guy was. I guess they eventually found out and talked to him, hopefully. Hopefully.
Anything. And I eventually walked back up to my car, got my car, drove down, and I was like, this has got to be the house the way the numbers are going. And so I pulled into the drive in there, and that's when I noticed that the light had been blocking the numbers. And so I jumped out of the car and I put the bag by the door because, I guess it is apartments now, it's coming out, but there was nothing to tell me that was apartments in it.
Sarah, no one knows. They've been trying to figure out what time those two got home since they held that press conference and said, anybody with any information on Xana and Ethan and their whereabouts throughout the night, please contact the Moscow Police Department. Y'all still trying to figure that out? What does their phones tell you about where they were? No, we don't. What are we doing here? Right? We just don't know, Sarah. We got Dylan's recollection of when they came home. We can't ask Ethan and Xana.
Needed to be directed at a certain place, so I just left it at the door and snapped a picture, and then I left. And I was there probably, I'd say 15 minutes. It was a while of me walking around trying to find it because I remember being stressed out because of the time. Because Doordash began.
Was there some sort of time limit or something?
You get paid by your delivery, so you only get so much per delivery. They are doing a trial right now where they're actually paying me by the hour because I have really high stars, except for my time is really bad because I always get orders that nobody else wants to do or they've been rejected, and so my stars are like way down there.
What kind of word salad is that, ma'am? Because you got that backwards. It's not how it works. You can't get to the gold status and go DoorDash when you feel like it. And no matter what, you're going to get top priority orders unless you are a top driver. Them numbers go down. You're not the top driver anymore. Got to schedule that shit up and hope for the best.
So I've been actually doing better with the by the hour wage. But still 15 minutes to be looking for one address is a little ridiculous. And so many parties and so many people, and I felt uncomfortable. And I remember seeing, it's an odd thing, but like underwear and stuff in the street, and I was like, what the heck, this is so weird. Yeah. Then it had been my third time there that night. Okay. And the girl popping in and out of the window was strange, but never coming down.
That's the strange part, because if it was Xana watching for the DoorDash driver who she knows is on the way, wouldn't she have come down? Said, hey, you're at the right location. Because you can't tell me you didn't know that there's always an issue when drivers come to your home. People are well aware. They'll send you a message, hey, GPS is going to take you down the street. I'm literally right here. So it don't make any sense for that not to be Xana and her not come down or acknowledge the DoorDash driver. It's weird. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it.
So once you left at the door, then what?
I just got in my car and I left, and I went through campus, and I hit the light as you're coming to Winco, and I got another order to email my phone, so I went back to Pullman to Jack in the Box, and I went there, and he had thrown away my order, so he remade my order, and I got sent to a
Two things in the DoorDash theory that people got right. It was a female driver, and the order came from Jack in the Box. How hard was it to figure out it came from Jack in the Box when you look at all the restaurants in the area and find out what time they close? How hard was it? It wasn't that hard. It was pretty easy to figure out. But we knew it was a woman. But then people decided it was Emma Bailey. Not Emma Bailey, y'all. Look, it's not Emma Bailey. Damn it.
a dorm in Pullman. That was my last delivery to Moscow, actually.
Okay.
So it was those 3 ones. They were just like bang, bang, bang. That little bit of time, I was there so many times, just back and forth. It was double orders, 2 every time.
Yeah.
One of them I actually delivered to an apartment, and this one here.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, there's also that is quite the party spot down there. Especially those
Yeah,
buildings right there. Those are
noticed.
super.
Yeah, I was really surprised how much was going on down there. Because there seemed like there was parties here, down here. They were just everywhere. There was so much noise and so much music, and it was so loud.
Yeah. All football games, I think, probably help.
Yeah, it usually does.
So I'm just going to kind of go back to something here real quick. First of all, you said you work about 18 hours. Is that
Yeah.
normal for you?
When I get going like that, yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll clock in and clock out. And DoorDash is pretty, I think the reason I like it, I just started doing it recently because I have a hard time with my history. I can clock in and clock out as I want. I don't have to schedule. I don't have to keep to things. I can, something comes up, I'm not going to lose my job because I don't make my shift.
Yeah.
Amen,
And
sister.
so when I get going and things are going good for the night, I'll just keep going.
Yeah. No, I'm just kind of familiar with how it works.
I didn't DoorDash for no 18 hours. I just did it for something to do for side money because I'm like retired and like, what am I going to do all day? I'll go make a little money and just DoorDash whatever this is. 18 hours, ma'am. Woo. That's a long time to be in that car putting up with people who want you to stop and get on some extra ketchup. Gotcha.
Works, but and I'm just anything else. So, do you make like on a good night, like on this night, do you make what, a couple $100, something like that? Or?
It depends because of gas. Because you have to pay.
That line of questioning was very interesting to me. What you getting at, Bubba? She broke? Did she need some extra money? Did she enter that home and do something nefarious to get some extra money? Because I'd be wondering. I'm a cop. I gotta wonder about everything at this point. I just saw something I didn't ever want to see. Got questions for you, you lurkety lurker with your flashlight walking around in the dark. We got questions. But she didn't do anything wrong, y'all. I don't mean to throw shade. I'm not trying to throw shade at the DoorDash driver, but come on.
Pure gas,
Of course.
and then you're eating too and munching, and so
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, it was a good night, and I made good money that night. I could probably look it up and tell you how much I made that
Oh, I'm
night
not worried about
altogether.
that.
But when you're talking about gas in my car, my tires were not so great, and I was having issues with my tires, and I guess my front alignment was out. So my Subaru that normally gets 25, 26 miles to a gallon is actually down to 17. So I do not make as much as I usually do,
Gotcha.
which is probably why I was pushing it even longer because, yeah, I was trying to make bill money.
I gotcha. Okay.
So,
So how long, you said you just started, how long you been?
I actually hired on with them probably about a year ago,
Okay.
but I actually didn't start dashing. It took me a really long time. Probably 6 months ago before I actually signed on and started doing
Trying to actually
it.
do it.
Yeah, and actually when I came on to do this, I had actually just taken about a month and a half off and not dashed for a little bit.
Okay.
My boyfriend Jimmy, he wanted me to take some time off. I also take care of my special needs brother. I've been taking care of him for about.
Now, Molly had a lot of tragedy in her life. Molly's ex-husband or husband was shot and killed right in front of her in Idaho. She's been through it, you know, but she only dashed for about 6 months. I'm really wondering how well she knew that particular area. She apparently knew it somewhat because she'd been down in there delivering. I just don't know how many. Apparently, she never delivered to King Road, and if she did, she didn't recall that was that one house with that weird address because it's extremely funky. It's technically Queen Road, but the sign says King Road. You know, it's a whole thing. So, I don't know. I don't know.
18 years now. He's mild retardation. And my eldest son, I mean, he recently left and it was not on good terms. He kind of left in the middle of the night, and so that's been a battle. And then his dad moved in, and then he passed away in my bathroom. And then my daughter actually, she was 15 at the time. She got really close with one of his friends, and they were taking me to court and deeming me unfit and saying a lot of stuff about me, and I haven't seen her about 2 years now.
Bless her heart. Should have had somebody else pass away at her home and she'd have issues with her children. See, this is the kind of stuff they're like, don't put the personal information out there so the internet's going to run wild with it. Molly, I'm sorry for all your tragedies.
So it's been a lot on me.
Absolutely.
And I've also been taking care of my husband's best friend, who was causing a lot of problems for me, and I was losing my home, and he actually just, I stayed at my boyfriend's house, and he actually sold stuff in my house, and now I have somebody squatting in my house that I'm not even happy with there, and they've destroyed my house, and I have to go get them out and fix it, and so it's a lot of stuff, and he wanted me to just, it's like, you've been through enough, you've had too much going on, you need to just.
Absolutely.
He's like, I work good, I can make the bills, just stay home and rest.
Yeah.
So I actually just had been working for the last, I think, week or two, not much, coming back on from that.
I think that's a wise choice. I mean, you know, it's just from talking to you, you've been through more than most people should ever have to, for sure. It sounds like you go kind of above and beyond to take care of other people too, which is.
I try to.
Yeah.
I don't want people to have to go through stuff that I've gone through.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Make things easier for them.
Yeah. So, kind of going back to when you delivered, can you kind of, I was kind of watching you, but can you kind of just show me your path as best you remember?
I pulled up right here, right by the dumpster there. That's where I initially parked.
Gotcha.
And sitting there looking around and trying to find things. I remember I got out and I walked partway up and looked up here up this pathway, the road there, and my map telling me to go up there.
Yep.
I have a tendency to end up walking half a mile from my car because my map tells me to. So I didn't want to do that. I was tired, so I ended up turning around, coming back, getting in my car, and driving up there. And realized that the road didn't go any further, thinking maybe it went around or something to get there. But my map just kept telling me to go in like right into the middle center courtyard, and I thought that was just weird. And then walking back down with my flashlight, which is when I saw the car, and still seeing again, there was no pathway. I was just double checking to make sure that I wasn't getting something wrong.
So, I don't mean to interrupt you, but when you're back here looking around, can you kind of describe to me just what it looks like at that back patio?
It's so
area?
dark, and in between the trees, you could just see like lights and like things were open. I want to say that it was like warm and inviting. It looked nice. It looked, you know, you could go back there, but I did not see a pathway that
Right.
made it so it was okay for me to walk in the back of somebody's yard.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
I didn't.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So then you.
Just the thought of that. She's back there where he's about to come in and park and enter a path that don't exist to get this backyard and enter that back sliding door. There she is considering doing the same thing, but she didn't want to get into someone's backyard. There's no path. Koberger's like, I make my own path. I'm a trailblazer. Lord.
So you started walking back down, right?
Walked back down, and then I realized that, yeah, I didn't miss something. I did not see a path. I was checking again. And so I drove back down again because I walked back up to get my car. And I drove back down, and I ended up pulling up into the drive thinking maybe I could go around that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I actually parked my car right kitty corner here because I saw the light finally. I could tell that the light was hiding the numbers on the house.
Right.
And that's when I realized that that was the correct house, and my map wasn't off. And that would be when I jumped out and I put the bag right there by the door and took the picture. And then I left because it was a no contact delivery.
Oh, it was, okay.
Yes, which means that I just take a picture, I send it, and I go.
Yeah,
I don't wait
makes
for
sense.
anybody, I don't look for anybody.
So,
Which I think is crazy.
yeah. So when you're back up here, I'm just kind of walking, make sure I fully understand.
Yes.
So you're walking back to your car here, and this is when you see the car that you mentioned?
When I saw the car after I had already parked up here and I was
Okay.
walking down.
Walking down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was driving down, we were right around here. He went through.
Okay. So you come around, so then you go drop everything off. Did you see the car again after that? Did you?
It did not.
Did not?
It left.
Okay.
It's just, the only reason, like I said, I remembered it was because it was odd that he didn't look at me or wonder what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
And he was very just, you know.
Looking straight ahead.
Yeah, and there was nothing. And so that seemed odd to me.
Okay.
Especially to be a girl in the dark. There's not a lot of light on that road
No,
at
it's
all.
dark. Yeah.
And to be walking around with a flashlight and looking around and poking around somebody's yard,
Yeah.
you would think most people stop and they're like, are you okay? Is
Right.
everything all right?
Especially early.
Y'all notice in her interview, there's somebody sitting back here at this desk right here, writing down stuff hot and heavy. There's two of them in there talking to this Doordash driver. Was it her or was it the weird guy that passed her in the car? They don't know what to think at this point. They better not know what to think at this point.
Early morning.
Exactly. It just seemed odd to me.
So when you, and I've been up there quite a bit, but the road's fairly narrow.
Yes.
Were you pretty close to this car? Or were
Yes,
you,
I mean, it drove right by me.
how close do you think it was?
Not very far. I mean, I'm walking on the road. I didn't walk in the grass or anything.
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of space, as you said. And
Yeah.
then there's cars parked around
Right.
there too.
Right.
So, I mean, he was right there.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the car? Any sound or anything out of the ordinary?
No, and I've been racking my brain too. 'Cause
No,
it seemed so odd for him to be there. He didn't seem out of place. He actually seemed very in place. Just his demeanor and everything, he just did not look at all, not even to turn his head.
When you say you look like he in place, what do you mean by that?
He didn't look disheveled or like at 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get ready for work and you're half asleep or something like that, or running or late, or it just, he seemed like
She's extremely observant, apparently. I'm trying to figure out how... Quit, cat. Sorry, y'all. This cat is all in my face for some reason. I don't know how fast or slow this person's passing her for her to be so observant of his... Was his inside dome light on like in Karen Reed's truck?
put together and just, yeah.
Could you describe that person for me?
I would say blonde hair. He was male. I would say it's hard because he's sitting down. So, but blonde. I would say maybe a light because of maybe a beard. Kind of like a short.
Okay.
I keep trying to rack my brain if there was glasses or not, and I can't remember if he had glasses on or not.
Was he white?
White,
Hispanic?
yes.
White?
Yes, sorry, he was white.
Okay.
And blonde. very light blonde. Not the dark blonde where it could almost be brown, but very light blonde.
I'd have no problem with her being super observant. I just don't know how she can tell what color hair people have. Because, like, I'm really considering in my mind, as she's telling the story, how that could play out. How you seeing the color of his hair? I'm just... Because, I mean, that could have been a critical piece of information. What if that had been the Idaho slasher? Or, you know, him actually passing. That description could have been important. So I don't know how she saw the color of the person's hair. It's interesting.
Blonde. Short hair, clean cut.
Did you notice anything about clothes or anything like that?
Light clothes, but not anything that would stand out. I would almost say he had the light on in the car when I think about it, because to see him that well.
Thank you, Molly. Because I was damn sure wondering.
On that street, he would have to have the light on in the car, the dome light.
Yeah.
Because I saw him very clearly, which seems odd for him to have the dome light on.
In full transparency, I have not watched all this yet. I watched like a minute or two at the very beginning. It's sidetracked and all.
Because I didn't flash the flashlight at him or anything. It just, I turned around and I looked, because the car didn't want to get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And I assumed he would look at me and wonder what I was doing, like most people do.
Yeah. So when you're, when you're out and about, and I know you told me you've been up there twice before that night, is it common to see cars driving through there? I mean, did you see traffic when you're up there earlier? Do you see people about can you just describe sort of the general vibe of the place?
Anybody really? Both deliveries, I had to drive up, and I came up and around and in the middle. They were both in the middle. The first delivery, actually, I drove up in the middle, and it was and that was the huge order, because he was texting me the entire way. Yeah. ETA. I'm trying to drive, dude. I'll give you my ETA when I get there.
You're right.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get there. I'm coming all the way from Pullman. And people they're very impatient sometimes.
Oh, of course, yes.
I can't remember anybody really walking around. He actually ended up coming out and walking to me, because the order was huge. The other order, I actually parked down here this time, and I parked down closer to the corner because I wasn't sure where the apartment number was, and I ended up walking all the way around to try to find the apartment, and ended up having to go upstairs, downstairs, all over the place, honestly, to find it. And it was in the center towards the end here, but it was upstairs. And I saw two people. It was a couple. They were walking. They walked up that way, and they were coming into an apartment when I was dropping off the order. They were college kids. They were just coming home. Nothing. They were loud. They were having a good time. They just had come home from the evening. Lots of partying here and noise and everything all around. It was really hard to tell, but as far as around here, it's so dark.
Oh, it is dark.
It's so dark. And I don't like those apartments. It's the first time I've ever delivered to those apartments this night. But my ex-boyfriend had told me that those were not a good apartments.
That was her first time delivering to Queen Road that night? Apartments? Dashing for about 6 months now. That night, he was all in that neighborhood. That's weird.
When we were younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that they actually considered those the White Harlem of Roscoe. They call the white apartments down by Lena Whitmore White Harlem, but these are the real White Harlem apartments.
Gotcha.
And so when I pulled up to it, I was like, really? This is where I am?
She just threw major shade at the Queen Road apartments. Yikes. Ew. Isn't that where Enon Harsh lives, right? He wasn't at the Whites. He was there at Queen Road looking out the windows and stuff, watching the pretty girls next door. Hike much lately, dude? I don't know.
Because I've lived here my whole life, but still, I'll end up in a few places in Moscow where I'm like, what the heck? Where am I?
Yeah.
So
do you think perhaps you're, I just asked this just to clarify, but do you think maybe the fact that this gentleman in the car was, seemed out of place, could it have been the environment that was like kind of a weird, darker environment, or what struck you about?
Just the fact that he didn't pay attention to me at all.
Yeah.
And that seemed just odd.
So it wasn't the fact that it was, because you're probably used to being, well, I guess, are you used to being out in the dark by yourself? You know,
I am a lot. That's actually why I have, I told my boyfriend when we first started getting together, I was like, you know, I want to make it so you can follow my GPS on my phone. Mm-hmm. And he felt really uncomfortable, and it took me weeks to get him talked into it. Yeah. I was like, look, with my history, with everything, I know Doordash knows where I am, I know they track me, but I think it would be smart if you could track me on your phone, just because, and a lot of times he's on the phone with me, and he's talking to me, especially if I'm somewhere where I feel extremely uncomfortable, I'll call him, and I'll have him on the phone, and have him on speakerphone. The customers don't even have a clue about it, but I'll have him on there, and he's got new earpieces and stuff, so I can keep him. That way, just to make me feel a little bit safer, because I tend to not feel so safe.
Did you call him that night at all? Was there any time you called him?
We actually were fighting that night. Okay. He wanted me to bring home groceries and pop and stuff, and he has recently just been having a hard time, and so he wanted to know why I hadn't gotten pop yet, and I hadn't gotten around to it yet. I had been so busy, and the orders, there were so many of them, and so he was not on the phone with me at that one, but he was on the phone with me when I delivered the first one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Kind of the next thing I was just curious about is, so when you're looking at the building that you eventually deliver the food to, so you have the main story where the door is, where the light is, okay? Where from that front door did you see the girl that kept looking at you?
She was up at the top, the very top left-hand window.
Okay.
And she just kept jumping up and down and up and down.
So the very, very,
very
not,
top.
Not the middle one, but the very one that's
The very top.
Okay, top left. Okay, gotcha. And you said when she was jumping up and down, can you kind of describe that to me a little bit? By jumping up and down, I mean like every time she noticed that I saw her, she'd disappear from the window. Okay.
She'd jump down.
Nice.
So every time that girl in the window noticed that the person with the flashlight noticed her, she jumped down. That sounds like a girl to me wondering what's up with this person wandering around outside my house with a flashlight. That doesn't make it make sense that it would be Xana. So whoever that is up there on the third floor is unaware Xana's got a Doordash delivery coming. Or they're not thinking that's the Doordash driver walking around with a flat. It's really weird. But I can understand why the girl in the window continues to pull back when you look up at her. That would kind of freak me out a little bit too, because if I didn't know what was going on.
And then as soon as I would turn back around or I come back by the window again, she'd be up there looking at me again, and I thought I was losing my mind because I thought maybe she was in a hammock or something swinging up there. I don't know if it was in a bed or, you're on campus. You just don't know.
You never do know.
It seemed odd to me because she wasn't coming down for the order. That's what made me think that I had the wrong house as well.
Yeah.
Because most of the time they come, if they see you, they come down there to help you out.
I see some new faces in the crowd. Welcome in. Please hit the like button. Welcome in, Buttwheat. Welcome in. Enjoy the show.
For food. And it had already been, I don't know how long since, it was a very busy night. I was running nonstop the entire shift. Every time I had to clock out was to just get a breather and get some gas. And then clock back on because it was wanting me back on and back running around. I remember Jack in the Box even put a table out for us because they had so many orders they couldn't even keep up with what we were doing. Yeah.
How late do they stay open?
Jack in the Box, they are supposed to be 24 hours, but they actually close down about 4 or 5 sometimes to reboot their system. But they're the only place around here that's open all night.
I was going to say, I don't remember, because I rarely go to Pullman, but it's like, I know all the places here in Moscow changed their hours a couple years back. And
everything else closes at midnight. They say 1 or 2 on their websites and stuff, but they actually don't stay.
They get you.
And Taco Bell and Pullman will stay open past midnight, but their dining room is not, only their drive-thru.
Right, just the drive-thru.
And so they shut down their Doordash too, but they don't shut down the orders online. So we get orders a lot and get stuck in the drive-thru to get the orders canceled. It really sucks. And so we spend a lot of time fighting with them.
Of course.
I don't like the Taco Bell and Pullman. They make me mad.
Yeah.
I sat there for an hour and 15 minutes before with an order, and then telling me that they had the order, they were working on it, checked every 15 minutes, and then an hour and 15 minutes later, like, oh, we never got it. I'm like, I sat here for an hour and 15 minutes to get paid $2.
Yeah, especially when it's, you know, your thing is turning and burning, you know, that's what makes
and
your
so
money.
when something like that happens, you only get half the order. So I got $2 to stand there for an hour and 15 minutes. I was not happy.
Yeah. I wouldn't
They
be happy
they
either.
tried to make me leave before because of him. I was like, really? He's like, your mascot.
Yeah, seriously, he's about the chillest dog I may have ever met.
I'm like, you can't actually make him leave, but
Yeah.
okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. And he's not a service dog. Well, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
And then they feel like an ass, but they're always slow. Their orders are slow, and people who order from, they don't tend to tip very well, to be honest.
Really?
The college kids from Taco Bell. It's usually like $1, even though you went through hell to get it.
Right, yeah, yeah. So the girl, I'm just going to kind of revisit this. The girl in the window, can you kind of describe her? You said she had
long brown hair.
long brown hair, okay.
I want to say, after looking at the pictures, I'm sorry, I don't watch the news, so I didn't know. I started looking, I think it was one of the brunette, the sisters.
Okay.
If I had to guess, but I was so far away, I couldn't. The college kids, they're all, so many of them, and I see so many faces. I've been trying to rack my brain too about the name that was on the order, and I can't remember the name on the bag, and it's been driving me nuts. I'm sure that there's a record of it through Doordash. I wish they let us keep some of that stuff, but we don't get to keep the pictures that we take, or the orders, or any record of any of it.
It just goes to them. Okay.
It all goes through the app. Occasionally it'll screw up, and I'll get a phone call or a text message that'll go through my phone instead of through Doordash app, but I looked and it didn't.
Okay. Did you didn't get any messages from whoever ordered this that night?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Probably would help you find the place.
Yeah. And again, the girl, I thought that's what she was doing, and I thought that's why she kept jumping down out of the window once I saw her, because, you know,
Yeah.
you're running around with a Jack-in-the-Box bag. I mean, it wasn't a big bag either, it was a small order. So,
Was it just like, was it one bag, two
just
bags?
one bag.
One bag.
One small bag. I would say maybe a value meal at that.
Okay.
They don't let us open them.
Yeah, makes sense, yeah.
They usually have the order written out on the screen if you look at it, to see if they need straws or stuff like that. But honestly, I can't remember anything in particular about the order.
Gotcha.
I was running back and forth so many times. I actually had a friend that was sitting at Jack-in-the-Box parking lot waiting for me for the last like 3 times of running back and forth from these orders, because he was waiting for me to kick back with him and eat a hamburger like me too. And I never got to.
Never made that.
Yeah. He actually left when I was at that order.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, Alex, do you have anything else you'd like to?
Yeah, that was
Oh, Alex is a woman. We finna flip that script. We got good cop, bad cop coming in, or do we got that female role coming in? What can she get out of her that I just couldn't? Because we still don't know what's going on yet. Pretend like we don't know yet, because they sure don't at this point in time. On the 23rd, still a month away from getting that name from the IGG.
fantastic. First of all,
Yeah, thank you.
I mean your memory of just that bit was fantastic. We have a couple techniques that might help you to remember a little bit more, just to kind of maybe ask questions in a little bit of a different way, that might help jog some of that if you're up for that.
Of course.
That might help. It might do more if you're willing to do that. Before we even go there, I just had a couple other questions that maybe before we dig a little bit, in a different manner. I think you had said that when you saw the man in the car, he didn't look out of place. Was that right? Am I remembering that right?
He looked out of place because he didn't look at me.
Okay.
That's what was out of place.
Okay.
The fact that he did not make any kind of gesture towards the fact that I was there. That's why I remember him.
Okay.
There was nothing that made him look disheveled or out of like running in a hurry or like he was late or.
Okay. It sounds like when you're driving around on campus, there's lots of college people and lots of that stuff around. Did he look to fit in kind of
He
with
seemed
the
a
people
little
that
bit
older
older to me,
Okay.
but in those apartments, I didn't know that those were campus apartments either, or if those are what kind of housing they are. So I wasn't sure as far as, but he did look older than like the average college kid, yes.
Okay, so when you say older, what does that mean to you?
Age is so hard. I would probably say late 20s, 30s, somewhere around there, you know.
Okay.
Probably I would think out of college.
Okay. You said you remember that the car was tan,
Yes,
if I remember?
in a sedan.
Okay, in a sedan. So what does that mean to you, a sedan?
A four-door.
Four doors,
Four-door.
okay.
Like family car with
Okay.
the dome light on.
Okay. Do you recall what the interior of the car looked like?
It was light.
Light colored?
Light interior.
Okay. Anything else that you saw in the car? Was there?
No, I didn't really look.
Now, when they go and review 1112 King Road's footage, when they finally get it from the girl, who's the tan car coming and going, right? You should be able to see it enter that neighborhood. And we've got a lot of footage out there on the Queen Road, or the Queen Road footage from that house. And you do see another car coming and going. That's the only vehicle you see. So I don't know, you know, I mean, I know what time the car came through because she's there delivering the Doordash. But that's like the only vehicle in the area. This lady's getting down. Like, what color was the interior? The light is on, apparently, and you can see all this other stuff. Now she's trying. They need to figure this out, right? If that's the only other car, we got this lady out walking with the flashlight. How interesting, considering what happened. Let's be real. And this one car she sees. And that's all she sees that night. And the girl in the window. Mystery girl in the window on a hammock. And a guy in a tan car riding around back there in the dark. He could have been going home. I don't know. Pick up his girl. Drop a girl. Well, he was the only one in the car, so.
I just saw him and the fact that he didn't look at me, and I was like, okay. And I kept looking for the apartment and the number because I was trying to get that food. It keeps getting cold.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't want to get a bad star and a bad mark for delivering cold food.
Okay.
So I was trying to make sure it was warm.
That's how you get the stars, right?
Yeah. Actually, I get stars for bringing extra sauces.
Interesting.
I get a
You
lot
gotta
of
have
stars
extra
for that.
sauce. You gotta have it.
I have bags and bags of extra sauce from every restaurant, and that's how I get the stars.
Yeah, Woozy, that may be true, but I don't remember seeing another person in the room when Dylan and Bethany were being interviewed, right? Taking notes on the side. Their rooms were different, smaller. So I feel like it's a good cop, bad cop situation happening here. But I don't know. You might be right.
Back in the box order and you throw in some Arby's sauce while you're at it. So.
I've done that a couple times when Taco Bell's been out of their hot sauce because they have like 8 different hot sauces. So I have huge bags and Ziploc bags and tapes and stickers and all sorts of stuff to like try and get to Hook. And yeah, there's so much stuff in the backseat of my car. It looks so disheveled. It's awful.
It's worth it for the stars.
Yeah.
Do you remember, so obviously the interaction with that tan sedan stood out to you for a reason, but do you remember seeing any other vehicles? Anything else driving?
It was so, everything was calming down at that point. There was still a lot of activity up here at these apartments in this house, it seemed like, and down here at the back, you could hear a noise, but around here it seemed like everything was calm and quiet and dark and shut down.
Okay.
For the most part.
You mentioned too, and please forgive me if you brought this on the map, but you talked about 2 people who you saw walking into an apartment?
Yes, that was.
Can you just show Brett, since I'm back here, kind of where they were walking from, where they were walking to?
They just walked up and into the center here where you could get into the center of buildings.
I wonder if this lady is from Idaho State Police and he's from the Moscow PD.
I was actually on the second level in here, and they had come up the stairs and walked by and went behind me, so I'm not sure what apartment they went to.
Okay. And some of the reason we're asking all these questions, obviously, is just like you were there around at the same time. What did you see? What did you hear? And we're trying to track down as many witnesses as we can, so that we can ask them the same questions and try and figure out where we're at. So what I'd like to do, if you're amenable, I may swap places with Brett there for a minute,
Yep.
so I'm not yelling from the back of the room. And again, I'm amazed at all the detail just that you remember just from.
It was an odd delivery, I know. I mean, I remember getting home and saying it was not delivery to me. And
What made it odd?
it's just the girl in the window, and then the gentleman, and then just the last order of the night. It just stood out, and then the map wanted me to go to the center.
Okay.
For that center courtyard in there, that seemed odd to me.
Okay, and just again, because I was sitting back there, when you say the center
The
courtyard.
center courtyard that's in the, over here,
Okay.
back there, I couldn't really see, there's so many bushes and it's so
Yeah.
dark, but there was definite light glowing through and
Okay.
you could see kind of stuffed animals and stuff and
Okay.
just inviting, but
Yep.
I wasn't going to walk back there. That seemed like, no.
Probably a smart choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is, what I'm going to try and ask you to do is have you kind of think back to being there, to being, let's do from the time that you are coming down, this is Taylor, so like you're pointing to the neighborhood, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is close your eyes, think back, try and put yourself back to that time, to that place, and we're going to talk through what you saw, what you heard, if there was any smells that you recall, and just try and be there and actually see those things, okay? I would like you, to the extent you are able, to give me every detail you can imagine, okay? We're not in a hurry, we're not in a rush, we can do this as long as we're able to. And we hope that the more we're able to go slow and kind of almost be there and look around.
I know the time I was there is an important time.
Just if what other things may come to mind, okay? And I'm gonna do it first. I'm gonna just tell you about getting into my car at home, just to give you an idea of how much detail that I hope we can remember, just to give you a sense of kind of how much. Once you start, I'll do it first, and then I'll ask you to do it. Once you start, I'm not going to interrupt you, okay? I'm not going to ask you any questions at all. I just want you to remember as much as you can. We'll go from the time you pulled on to King Road from Taylor, all through you said it's about 15 minutes, right? So all through that 15 minutes until you're pulling back out, okay? And this may take that whole 15 minutes, okay? And that's fine. It may take longer if you are able to kind of really visualize what you saw while you were there, okay? One of the easiest ways we find to do it is to talk about it as if you're there, right? I see this, I'm hearing this, that kind of thing, okay? We'll do that first, and then we may do this again a couple different ways. Just again, every time we go through it, sometimes new memories will pop up, new things will kind of be jogged by other things, okay? All right, so I'm going to go first, just to give you a sense. I'm going to tell you about getting into my truck at my house, okay? So I'll start from the time I leave my house till the time I get into the truck, okay? So I'm going to take a minute, kind of visualize it, picture it. Okay, so I open the door from the inside. There's a silver handle, but it's one of the handles that has a loop on it, so it goes from the top and then it rounds down to the bottom and it meets the door in two places and then has like a latch on the top. I usually leave the front unlocked so the deadbolt is already open. I can push down on the lever and pull the door towards me. The hinges are on the left, so the door will swing from the right side to the left side. And then I have a storm door. There's a storm door there. It's like black frame, but with a divider in the middle. And the handle for that is also on the right. And that has, again, another, like a latch push down to open that door. And that door swings out. So as I walk through that door, I turn to my right and kind of hold that storm door with my butt or my back, and reach around my right hand and grab the outside handle of the main door, which is all black, but the handle again is silver like on the inside. I can pull that door closed behind me.
What in the world is happening? A mental challenge experiment. Let's walk through a mental memory recall test. This lady's not from the Moscow Police Department. Are you FBI, ma'am? My cat's agreeing. Is she FBI, Miss Queen? She's FBI, the cat said.
I have a keypad latch, so I have to lock it with a button, but I can I push any button to latch it. But 2 is the button I used. And I have to kind of pull on the door as I'm locking it, or it won't lock. So I pull on the door, and then it gives kind of like a...
It's almost giving me hypnosis vibes. Think about it. Go through your routine. What you do when you get in your car. Is the handle silver? How's your memory recall? Your attention to detail? This is super interesting. Yeah, Ranger, she's got to be state police, or now that considering what she's doing right now, I'm inclined to believe maybe even FBI. They were there already working the case.
Beep to tell me that it's locked appropriately. And then I step back from the storm door, and I let that door just kind of fall, but it never slams closed. It just kind of fades closed. And I'll turn around and have a single step there. I can step down from the front porch onto the sidewalk. And then the sidewalk, I curve around to the left. And there's a car in the driveway there. I don't like to walk in the grass because the grass is always real wet. So I kind of walk into the driveway and...
Damn, lady, I think I just learned something. Psychological warfare and all. This is super interesting to people like me. Sorry, guys, I'm kind of intrigued by this whole thing right now about what's happening here with Molly. Where's this lady for Dylan Mortensen? Did she can we get I want to know that she interviewed Dylan. And that convinced them that we're good to go here, nothing to see here. Because I don't know how they made that determination yet. I'm not saying I think they did something. Don't y'all, I'm unpacking like an investigation, pretending they never caught the guy yet. Let's pretend that. And then we can unpack it. But yeah, I'd like to know if this lady had a shot at Dylan. Damn.
Like scoot alongside of that car. It's actually a truck. It's a black pickup truck. And it's parked face in so that the car pointing towards the street. I'm going to walk alongside it, so I guess I'm on the left side.
So Joy, welcome in. Right, sounds highly suggestive way of interviewing. Would it be suggestive if she was like trying to lead her as to what kind of car that she saw? This feels like to me she's trying to figure out Molly's memory recall. Every little detail. I can't walk through the grass because the grass is wet, so I walk this way. I do stuff like that. From my back porch to the pole barn where I go sit, if it's dewy in the mornings, there's a certain way I walk to it, right? So intriguing as shit, ain't it? To try to figure out what's her actual end game. So Joy, let's try to figure it out, man.
Side of it. I walk down. It's maybe 5 or 6 more feet after the end of the truck, after the bumper. Across, there's a sidewalk that crosses the driveway. and into the road. No cars were coming, so I just crossed the street there, and there's more like parking on the opposite side of the street. There's a grassy area there, and there's parking spots that, not parallel parking, whatever the other one is, just straight in, along, right in front of the house, but on the other side of the road. And my car is in the first parking spot, the silver Tundra. There's a tonneau cover on the back. And every time when I walk to the front, to the driver's door, there's a golf ball dent over the driver's side rear wheel well that I see every time. I walk past the rear doors to the front doors. I have to click open the door with the key fob. Click that open, and it gives it like a 2-beep. It's like a beep beep for the unlock. And then open the door, and I notice on the grassy area there, there's kids that sometimes play in there. They weren't there when I left, but the soccer ball was there. And one of those orange cones, like they use for the goals, was kind of right in front of the truck. And then I get in the truck. It's gray on the inside, a black dash.
No, that she's trying to make sure, because this woman is giving a very descriptive detail about every single move she makes and what she observes. And she's trying to get Molly there. What else can you recall about this tan car and this man? Her memory recall. I mean, she's going into damn detail about what she does and how she's observant of get your hypnotis on, right? Get in that headspace where all you think about is that.
Black steering wheel and black dashboard. I have the keys in my right hand, put the keys in ignition, turn the ignition, because it still has a regular key ignition. And there's a University of Tennessee mask, like a COVID mask, that hangs on the left, like where the blinker is. So mask there. And on the right, there's the shift is down low. It's right in the console. And I went to put my phone in the cup holder to try and plug it in, because it plugs into the front dash, but I couldn't find the cord, and so I had to kind of dig in between the seat and the console.
I couldn't find the cord, so I had to dig in between. How long is this dang thing? Did it help Molly remember that she parked right next to the guy months later during a traffic stop that Officer Axion posted to his YouTube channel that nobody noticed for about 8 months?
To find that, but I found it, and as soon as I plugged it in, the music from the phone came on. I don't know what song it was, but it was definitely a Luke Bryan song, and it was like halfway through, because I'm not sure, but it was in the middle. I remember it popped on right in the middle of the song. And then I looked up When I put the truck in reverse to back out of the driveway.
The only cognitive tests I recall in the documents were for Brian Koberger. Love to get a look at those.
Out of the parking spot, there's no backup camera, so I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was a couple walking a dog along the sidewalk. It was like maybe a shepherd, like an Australian shepherd of some sort. It was like brown and white, and she had on a blue like parka.
What?
She had brown.
This lady ain't from the Moscow Police Department. There's no way in hell. Yeah, I think I see y'all's chatter about it. I think we're all leaning heavily toward the FBI, right? This is some heavy shit. This ain't the run-of-the-mill tactics here. We gotta bring in them big guns. I mean, I'm not mad at what they're doing. I get what they're doing. I just find it super interesting because I've not seen this ever before.
Brown hair, jeans, and he was taller than her. A gray hoodie and jeans, and they were walking up the hill. So if I'm in my mirror, they were moving from the passenger side to my side, as I saw them in through the mirror. And then I put it in reverse and backed out and went there. Okay? Good sense of kind of how much we're talking about. So it'll take some time. Just close your eyes. I had my eyes closed because it certainly helps you to see it. Okay? Before we get started, any questions about that? Okay. So, again, I'm not going to ask you any questions. Okay, so if you can close your eyes, take a minute, put yourself back there, remember being in this area here as you're approaching into the neighborhood. Close your eyes, take your time, and when you're ready, when you can see yourself there, you can go ahead and start.
This lady holds degrees that these average cops don't hold. Way beyond a cop badge. Way behind a cop badge.
Remember driving up the road before the turn and seeing on my phone that I was going back to that area again, and being like, holy cow, another delivery here. Turning up King Road, taking the left onto King Road, and then taking a right onto Queen, and trying to watch my phone, telling me where to go, watching the map that I keep on the satellite so I can see the buildings, because it's easier to find places on the buildings and the addresses on the satellite mode. And all of a sudden my phone saying you are there, and I pulled over to the right, right there by the garbage, the dumpsters right there next to me as I turned my head. I put my car in park, and I remember sitting back and taking a breath for a few seconds because I was very tired and very exhausted, and started looking around for the numbers and not being able to see them. And my lights on my car seemed so bright. They seemed really, really bright of where I was sitting because it was so dark out. And then looking over to my right and looking at the house and seeing the bluish white house and the light shining so bright, and looking up and at the windows. And as I'm looking at the windows, I see movement in the top left hand, and there's a girl up there with her hair just hanging down. It's not put up in a ponytail, it's kind of snarly, it's not done up. It's almost like pajamas, or just end of the day wear, just kind of hanging out in the window. her head kind of tilted and kind of looking around, and it seemed odd. And I remember leaning forward in my car and up to the steering wheel to look to see her better. And when she realized I was looking at her, she jumped down very quickly and kind of disappeared. And I was like, okay, that was strange. Waited a moment, looking around still to find the numbers. Realizing that must not have been it, because the girl didn't come down and I didn't see numbers. Trying to remember what number the apartment buildings were. Looking again at my phone to see if there was an apartment complex unit. And seeing again there wasn't. Telling Mikey to stay. He was sleeping in his, I keep a dog bed in the passenger seat that hooks into, I'll take a leash and I tie it around the passenger side, because if I have to slam on my brakes too hard on the car, then Mikey goes flying. And he's not happy when he goes flying into the floor, so he stays in his little bed and stays warm. I told him to stay. He couldn't come out this time to this delivery because I didn't know where I was going. And I left the food, and I left the car running. I didn't turn it off because I wanted the headlights to stay on. I wanted the extra light to see as I was walking around. And I remember getting out of the car, it was pretty cold, closing the car door and walking, and realizing it looked like garbage all over the road. As I'm walking up the road, I'm looking at my map on my phone, and then seeing what looked like dirty underwear in the road, which I remember shaking my head and thinking, geez, I'm on campus. And I kept walking and turning my flashlight on and looking and thinking that's got to be the house. Looking up at the window again, the girl's still not there. She didn't come down. That can't be right. Walking up to the other apartments and seeing that the number isn't correct. So I start kind of walking up, looking at my map. It's telling me to walk up that road. I kind of walk up there, and I'm looking with my flashlight, and I'm seeing that there's a little courtyard in between the bushes, but I'm not seeing a pathway, a walkway, or anything to get through. No movement in the house, no movement outside, nobody talking. It was noisy down at the street by the car, but not up there. It's quiet, it's dark. I'm getting really nervous because it's dark and it's quiet. And my map is just still telling me to keep walking up there, and I see that there's a road, but I'm not sure if it's the parking lot or there's an actual road that goes up and around. And so I turn around and I start walking back down to my car, because I'm going to get in my car and drive up it, because I don't want to end up walking blocks and blocks away from my car again in the dark. And it's cold, and I'm flashing my flashlight, and I'm trying to walk, and I'm trying to look, and I'm not seeing anything. And I get back down my car, and I look back up, and the girl's up in the window again. And she's just sitting there looking out the window again. The only thing you can really see in the window is her. And again, she makes eye contact with me, and she disappears again. She jumps down. She's gone. I'm like, okay. So I keep walking down to my car, and I'm looking for numbers. And the noises are starting to come of the college kids and the radios and the music. I can't make them out. Any noises. Still looking around for numbers. I finally get in my car, out the door, get in, put my phone up on the stand, which takes forever because it's new. The pop socket doesn't want to fit into the stupid thing. I finally get it all situated up there, and I take my car and I put it in drive. And I remember kind of racing up there because I was trying to hurry, but then slowing down because I was trying to look at the same time to where my phone was telling me to turn. and walk. And my car went vroom up the hill very quickly. And then realizing that I was at a dead end and I needed to find a place to park the car. I can tell him that it was okay because he was starting to make noises. He wanted to get out and go with me, but I didn't want to carry him around. It was cold and I knew he was going to be cold. And I got the car parked. It was dark. It was really dark. I tried to get my flashlight on, and I was carrying the food this time, just in case. Shh, thank you. Okay, it's okay. I'm walking down the hill. You're okay. I'm walking down the hill, and it's so dark, and looking through in between the bushes and see the light and the glow from in between and going out to the courtyard. That would actually be kind of a cool place to live. And things being open. I remember glass doors open, I think. And it just seemed warm and inviting, but I didn't feel comfortable walking through bushes. And all of a sudden I hear a car coming up from behind me, from my right. I hear the car slow. And I turn to my side to look at it because I know I don't want to get hit. There's not a lot of room. And it's at night. I'm with a flashlight. I'm expecting somebody to be sitting there gawking at me, wondering what the heck I'm doing because that's kind of crazy. And turning around, and it's a tan-like colored car driving by me. It's not going fast. It's not going particularly slow. The dash light is on. It's very easy to see inside. But he's very into what he's doing. He doesn't look at me, and he seems very just not paying attention to anything else going on. But the light's on in the car for some reason, and it's very light inside the car. I don't see anything, bags or anything in the seats. I remember seeing the seats, and nothing like a bag or anything hanging around. He had a light colored dress shirt on, short hair, almost pokey. I want to say spiky, pokey hair, and a beard that was not a long beard, very short, but just not that he hasn't shaved in a couple days, but it's been a while. But not like he was, I don't know, purposely or not. But older, not a college student. Didn't seem like he should have been right there. And the fact that he didn't even look at me was very strange. And walking down, I got to the end of the house and the bushes, and still I couldn't see a path. I wasn't missing anything. I didn't miss a pathway. Maybe the road goes up and around the other side. I can kind of see up there that it looks like there might be a parkway on the other side of the house. Maybe that's it. And I'm missing. And turning back around and walking up the hill really fast. And trying to be fast because it's dark and I've been taking too long. I've been there way too long and I'm cold and my teeth's getting...
Man, the one person that physically saw Idaho Slasher is the one person who should be getting this treatment right here. I'm always pretty observant. So far, she's telling the same exact thing again. I would love to know if this lady got to run it Dylan Mortensen, because that would have been critical. Think about it. What else can you recall? You physically saw a man in your house. Slow down. Think about what you just heard upstairs. Whose voice was that running down the stairs? What did you feel when you ran past that door and saw your friend in the fluoride? Oh, wow.
antsy and the food's getting cold and it's so dark and so quiet. And getting in the car, I'm feeling very uncomfortable. I'm feeling better when I got in the car. It was warmer. I'm putting Nike on my lap because I'm uncomfortable. And getting pulled out without trying to hit anything. And speeding down the hill rather fast because I was very uncomfortable and I didn't like where I was. I come down the hill and I decide to pull in. I pulled in very fast, getting frustrated, knowing I have other calls. I remember hearing the gravel clicking, and I did not see the girl in the window this time. When I pulled into the drive, she wasn't up there. And I turned to the side, and all of a sudden I can see the numbers. There they are. There's the numbers through the light. Now I can see them now that I'm on the side. And I turned the car and parked very quickly. And I think I had Nike in my hand when I grabbed the food because I didn't want to let go of him. And I got out of the car, and I grabbed my phone. I didn't turn it off. I didn't even shut the car door. And ran up to the door and put the food down, making sure that the door wouldn't hit the food if it was to open outwards, and taking the picture.
Good girl, Molly. Because god dang, that's annoying to people. Sit that door's going to swing out, knock their food over when they're trying to get it, right? They appreciate that. And some of them take the time to let you know how much they actually appreciate that kindness, that you just delivered food to their house and they ain't got to get up and go nowhere. Thank you for that. And being kind enough and considerate enough to know not to sit it right dead in front of my door without me having to prompt you to do so, because you got a mind and can think. Molly, you ain't bad after all. Sorry for doubting you, ma'am, ever.
Trying to get the program to work. Got the picture, confirmed the delivery, got back in my car. I'm gonna pick my phone back up on the thing, still holding on to Nike and throwing the car in reverse and getting out of there very quickly. Because I didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to hurry up and get going. I had been there so long, I wasn't supposed to be there any longer. And just kind of take it off really fast. That was great. Thank you very much.
You want to take a drink, take a break for a second? Just okay. That was great. That was a ton of detail with some new things in there too that helped you kind of pull out.
Y'all, look, she got her little dog with her. To keep her relaxed and calm. And this lady is like really like taking her time with Molly. I'm a little bit impatient. I got patience, but sometimes I don't. I'm like, speed it up. You know what I mean? Speed it up, but not too fast. My brain's got to compute what you're saying.
Which was great. Can I ask you a couple questions about some of this stuff? What you said when you pulled in and you parked by the dumpster, you left your lights on so you could see. Can you explain to us a little bit about exactly where the car was and what the headlights?
The car was right, let's see, right here. The dumpster's right there, right at the very opening of the drive.
Dumpster.
So she didn't see the car on the little road between King Road and the apartments, because the dumpster sits at the end of that. When you're coming down King, Queen, or whatever, the house is on the right, and we've all seen the picture of the friend group outside and the body cam of where that dumpster is located, right? It's like right there across the street from King Road. So Molly parks out there. That's when she sees that car. So when she was interviewed, right, with her body cam stop, had she concluded in her mind at that point that tan car was Kohberger's? Because it was out there after that white sedan, right? Does she just think that was him and I parked right next to him? I don't know where she ended up concluding that at, but
right next to the driveway.
Yes, I was shining so I could see the numbers on this apartment here, the apartment complex. The numbers are right there on the corner. I think it's like 800 or something ridiculous, but
Okay.
it's a 100 number with 2 zeros. I can't remember the first one, but
Okay. I think you had said before, was there a time that you walked this way?
I didn't walk
No,
that way,
okay.
just this way. My car, I drove when I came down in the car. I drove that way.
I see.
And that's where I parked my car, right there when I saw the numbers. That was right at the right angle where I could see the numbers away from the light.
Okay, so
And that's when I realized that that was the house that I was supposed to be at. So I slammed it into the park, and that's when I jumped out.
Okay, so the car, just for Brett, is on the right side of the house?
It's
Your car?
over here
It's
at
on the
this
right
point, yeah,
corner.
whatever. And there were cars parked in there.
Okay. Can you, if you close your eyes, remember anything about how many cars, what kind of cars, what color cars, anything about those cars?
I want to say that all I remember, I want to say maybe 3 cars. A dark sedan car is the only one I can remember that was actually parked in there.
Okay.
For some reason, I didn't pay a lot of attention to the cars that were in there,
Okay.
just because nothing was moving, nothing was going on. And I was just trying to get my car in and out of there and get out of there at that point because I felt uncomfortable being on that side of the house.
Okay. I think you said too, and correct me if I'm wrong, that while you were up here and you looked down in here, it looked warm and inviting. And I think you said something.
Oh, she noted that Molly said it looked warm and inviting. I think you said it looked warm and inviting. Ma'am, you're good.
About it being open.
I think the doors and I don't know if they were open, but I would have thought it almost seemed like there was glass doors open back there, but I don't know if they actually were or if it was just clean glass doors.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, what made you think that they were open?
Just because I couldn't see through.
Okay.
Or I could see through, sorry. I could see through, sorry. So I wasn't sure if it was glass doors. It was just a glowing, the yellow, orangish glowing light coming through. It wasn't exactly up here. Up here it was very dark. Really hard to see. It was more down here towards, as I was looking through the bushes where it was telling me to go through into the courtyard.
Okay. So you noticed it down kind of closer
Yeah.
to the house. Closer to the house. Okay.
Because I didn't walk past, when I was walking down, I didn't walk past this part when I was walking down. It was just, once I got to that point, it was like, okay, I've already made it past the house, and that's when I came back up.
When you, and just so I'm clear too, I know you told Brett this already, but which direction were you traveling, and which direction was that car traveling?
I was walking down,
Okay.
and the car was coming down.
Also coming down the
Yes.
same direction.
Yes. I don't know where it came from.
Okay. When it passed you, you said as it's passing you, you look over your right shoulder.
Yes.
Um,
I was
and-
walking down the hill.
Okay. As it passed you, do you remember seeing the back side of it at all?
No.
Did you watch it as it went past you?
I remember it going down the hill, but then I just turned and kept doing what I was doing because I didn't see which way it turned.
Okay. And then if you remember, when was the first time you saw another vehicle when you were leaving? After you dropped the food?
Another vehicle.
At any point, even if it's, way out on the street, do you ever remember encountering another car in front of you, behind you, passing,
Not that I remember. It was pretty dead out. Things were starting to calm down. But there was still a lot of noise and music coming from somewhere. I thought it was coming from these apartments here, and then from this one here. But I remember walking kind of down here and seeing these guys' lights were all still on, and there was lots of noise coming from that area.
Okay, so this is, I'm not sure, is this a house or an apartment?
I think this is an apartment. It looked like it's kind of strange, like the apartment's always upstairs.
Okay.
It's weird looking.
Okay. But you said those lights were on?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That was really great. I'd like to do one other similar kind of thing, just to see if we can kind of pull something else out. So, if well, let's use this building here. So these are apartments here.
Mhm.
Right? So what I'd like you to do is imagine you're in one of these windows here on the end,
Okay.
and you're looking out. Okay. But you're not you, because you're down here doing everything that you did that night.
Mhm.
But if it's me up in this window here, and I'm looking out from the time you pull in, same thing, from the time you pull in to the time you pull back out. From up here, what am I seeing? What can I see from right here?
From right there. Up here.
Yep, from right in here.
Probably my headlights as I pull up. Once I get to walking up here, you'll be able to see that. And me looking around and looking over here, you won't be able to see me walking over there. It'd be there. And then me turning around and coming back down here to my car and looking at the other house numbers. And then you would see my car come up, which is silver Subaru, very fast, coming up and trying to find a parking spot. And I think honestly, I parked like right there. It was so dark, but it was right there. And then I got out of my car and came walking down with my camera, my flashlight on my phone. I'm saying flashlight, I mean the flashlight on my phone.
Okay.
And looking at the map and trying to reset the map because it keeps saying you are here and I'm not there yet and I haven't found it and it's getting annoying. And walking and peeking through the bushes, and I'm actually thinking about people watching me, wondering what I'm doing. And then the car come driving down here and pass by me as I turn and look at him. And then as I got down to about here, would have seen me stop and kind of peer through and kind of take a step there, down, but go no, and turn around. A step off the road. It's kind of a little bit of a drop there, and I was like, no. And looking, and seeing him at the end of the house, and then coming back up very quickly, and coming right back up to the car, and then driving down very fast. And then probably hearing my tires turn and the gravel's there as I turn in there. But I don't know that you would be able to see me actually get out of the car and go to the door from there because of those bushes and the trees and everything that's there.
Okay. That was great. Thank you very much for that. Right, did any of that, were there any additional questions?
Oh, you did a fantastic job. Yeah, truly, you did great.
After kind of going through all of that, is there anything else that sticks in your mind or that got jogged, that maybe is bubbling its way up about that, the 15 minutes or so that you spent in that neighborhood, or even on your way in or out of the neighborhood, if there was anything that
Just remembering that was a really weird delivery. I was there forever. His hair could have been like a blondish red.
Okay. Okay.
It was hard with the glow of the light. That's the only other thing I can think of that when I was picturing it, that could be, it may not have been just blonde, it may have been a blonde, like strawberry blonde, but yeah, tan, of course, tan.
And you mentioned that he had a light colored dress shirt on.
Yeah,
When you say a dress shirt, can you
The
describe
collar,
that? A collar.
but not shirt.
Okay. Okay.
No
Oh, think about that for a moment. Who else do we know likes to wear a collared button-up shirt? Hi, Mother. Everything's good over here in Washington.
coat over the top or a hoodie like you would see on a college student. Okay. Or a sweater and a dress shirt.
And it seems like you described being able to see pretty clearly on the inside of the car. Is that?
Yeah, I remember the inside of the car being lit up.
Okay.
Like he had the dome light on, which seems odd to me, but I don't know. But he wasn't looking around or anything. He was just straight.
Okay. Did it seem like there were any tints in the windows?
No.
Yeah, you would think sometimes it's a little much, huh, Kel? But this lady is started out this whole exercise wanting her to recount every tiny little detail, even why she walked the way she walked, right? So that's why there's appears to be so much like weird detail going on, because that was the whole point of their little exercise.
Orange is clear. I could see right through.
Okay.
I could see him so well.
Okay.
That's why it's been just bugging me, because I could see him so well.
Okay. You talked about light colored interior of the car.
Yes.
Can you see about the color besides that it's light?
Okay. Just light. I don't remember any bags or clutter or anything laying around or anything on the dash that didn't already belong there. You know, anything sticking out.
Do you
I think I'm clean and very nitpicked.
Okay. What about the color of the dash lights? But there's a glow from the dash. Can you recall any?
Not much of a glow because of the dash light, the dome light being on. So not much that I saw there. It just was very bright in there. And it being so dark. I mean, I think there might be some light coming from in between there, coming through the windows just right when I was perfect timing. That could have been it too, instead of the dash light or the interior light being on, but it seemed very bright in there when I think about it and I picture it.
When you picture the gentleman sitting in the car, you're looking at.
Thank you, True Crime Butterfly, for gifting 5 memberships to the regulars and to the Shadow Watchers, maybe even. Welcome in, whether you mean to be here or not, with good intentions or not. We appreciate the view. Welcome in, CW, Gen P, Facts and Truth only, please. Please. Cuff you. I love it. And Juliet, welcome in, guys. Welcome in.
Side profile.
Yes.
Did anything stand out to you about his facial features? No. Okay.
Can you recall his hairline?
Not anything that was, it wasn't like it was balding or anything like that. It seemed just a normal. He wasn't wearing a hat or anything like that. You can see his hair, like I said, it was very spiky, almost spiky hair. It was short.
So spiky, short. Can you describe that for me as a little bit more?
Not like slick back or anything like that. Just like spiky, short. Not like buzz cut, but longer than that. A buzz cut.
He must have had his dome light on, because I had to go to look at the pictures, but I don't recall seeing like street pole lights out there that were going to light up the area. It's super dark out there. He must have, like, he could have had the light on, fumbling for his, I don't know, phone charger.
Just if I remember correctly, you said this was not your first delivery to this neighborhood.
It was not. I had 2 other ones up here.
Okay. And there was one more after it, or no?
No.
No. Okay.
That was actually, I had more
Oh, nice, Kel. You're familiar with Cuff You. That's cool. Welcome in. Welcome in.
deliveries in Pullman. Yeah, I actually did that last one, and then called me. He's like, "You need to come home. This is ridiculous. You've been gone forever. Why aren't you home yet? You've been at this for like 18 hours. Why did you get home?"
Do you remember what times those 2 earlier deliveries were?
They were directly before.
Okay.
I mean, I went to Moss. I was dashing in Pullman, and they sent me to deliver to the crazy name delivery with all the right there, and a gentleman here. That was the first one, and then I got sent right back to Jack in the Box again.
Okay.
And I think I did a double drop off of Pullman.
Okay.
And then right back there again for the second delivery to be dropped off in the center there.
Okay.
And then right back to Pullman again.
Okay.
And I did 1 drop off in Pullman and 1 drop off to them.
I see. Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
Because
I did a lot of double drop offs. Most dashers don't, but I get a lot of double
That's
ups.
good for you, right?
Yeah. A lot of people got a lot of complaints on them because they're not fast enough, but I end up with a lot of them. I'm not sure why, but
So when you came through this area on those 2 earlier deliveries, what was the I don't want to say the traffic like, but what was were there people out? Were there
there were
vehicles
people
out?
out, there were vehicles, there were lots of vehicles out, parked on the sides and lots of noise and typical college party night. Seemed like all of the apartments were somebody was out partying.
Okay.
Until you get up to here, I don't know if you've been there or not. There's no lights, street lights or anything once you get it up there. And so I was trying to drive around up there, and it also, the weather was not great, I remember. And so trying to see, especially up here and where I was going, I ended up driving on the walkway in the center of the apartments because I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to be driving on them. And him on my phone griping at me at ETA, and I'm like, and so then I had to go in reverse out of the center of the courtyard and driving back, and he came out of his apartment with the purple door.
Okay. And you say, so you went straight back to Jack in the Box and straight back. How long do you think that trip takes?
On that night, it doesn't take very long, maybe 10 minutes or so. I could probably check on my phone on my maps and see, but it's not a long drive when the weather's not bad. Even at night, in the dark, when I do it so often, I know the road pretty well. And I wasn't taking Airport Road at all that night. It was on Main Highway and back and forth between Jack in the Box. I would take not airport, the back Airport Road, but as soon as you get to the light on the Pullman side, and then go that way to Jack in the Box up to campus and around. So it's fairly quick, especially because nobody's out. It's just dashers. We're all running back and forth trying to not get, sorry, but busted for speeding.
I got busted for speeding the other morning, so on my way here.
And, trying to make sure we're not getting in trouble, especially at the end of the month. It seems like at the end of the month, they're all watching our routes between Jack in the Box and McDonald's and Taco Bell over there in Pullman. That's the Stadium Way strip right there.
Yeah.
They're right there watching us pretty closely.
When you, on those first 2 trips out to this neighborhood, do you recall seeing any other vehicles out?
Not anything that stood out. There were kids walking around and lots of noise and but not anything. It was so late. I didn't expect to see a lot of cars out.
Okay.
So
if you had seen any cars on the road at all, not parked, but
yeah,
cars moving at that time?
I want to say maybe 1 or 2 passing by me, but nothing that stood out and not a lot of traffic. It was very quickly up and out and up and out, and not a lot of heavy at stop signs or waiting for traffic to move. Especially being up here, because there's not a lot of, unless you live up here, you know what you're doing up there, you're not usually over on that side. Or down here, there's more.
Yeah, Molly had stated earlier, Kel, about how she could see so well inside that car, and then she recalled that she thought the dome light was on because she could see so well, right? Because it's a no-brainer that it's super dark around there, and if the only light's on in the house, she's not going to see inside that person's car.
People moving around and active because it's a main road. A lot of people who go to Winco, because Winco is open all night, and if they live on the side of town, they will go that way to get through town because it's faster and it's easier than going through downtown and Main Street and everything to get through at night. So it's a main road.
Anything else that you can think of at all?
Not anything that's coming to mind.
Anything else about that vehicle when you close your eyes and think about it? Any decals or stickers?
I can't even remember if it was a Washington or an Idaho plate. I've been racking my brain. But I don't remember any stickers or anything sticking out or standing out on it.
What about the wheels? Anything about the wheels? Do you recall seeing the wheels at all?
I didn't even look at the wheels because I was looking at the top part. I don't even remember clicking for the like if it had studs on. I don't remember studs clicking. I remember the gravel clicking, but not like stud clicking.
Okay.
If that.
Absolutely.
Those studs are pretty loud.
Yeah.
You can hear them about a mile away.
Brett, anything more?
Anything else? No.
Okay, so the only other thing I have for you is, how are you doing? I know that I said this has been a rough couple of days for you. I hope this conversation wasn't
No, it was fine.
okay. Good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
You know,
you.
we certainly understand that this is a tough process, and particularly considering the things you've been through in the last.
Well, like I told
10
him, I
years.
want to help. I want to help make because you guys, and I can't believe I was there at that exact time. My luck.
We very much appreciate your willingness to help, your willingness to come in tonight. I know it was probably a lot just hearing the calls from the PD when we initially tried to get a hold of you, so I get that completely. Who's in talking to Jen now, she's going to stay in contact with you, she'll check in on you if you need anything. She'll probably have some suggestions of things that may help.
He just wouldn't let me call. Like I told him, this my first message I got from my voice.
Right, Rachel, because that would not be common here for us. It would be very common there for you guys, right? Considering the snow and all that. And that time of year, I'm sure you guys have to gear up for the winter.
So I just got a new phone. My voicemail wasn't even hooked up. All I was getting was your text messages. And I was actually sitting in my dad's truck. My tire had just blown. I just bought brand new tires. I was trying to sign on to work, and my tire blew on the highway. My dad had just picked me up. I got a Schwab dealing with that. My car was out of alignment, so 2 weeks of driving around on brand new tires, the tire completely worn all the way like this and blew on the highway both sides of the front. So another $400 after the initial $800. So that's what I've been doing. He's like, I will call him. I'm like, then you need to call him because he keeps texting me. And I'm trying to do with this. And if you're going to call him, you need to call him because he's still texting me. And I don't know if he can't get through. And then I realized that my voicemail wasn't set up. And then I had the app set up so no phone calls were getting through. And I was like, he's trying to get through and he can't get through. And he's texting me. He's probably sitting there wondering if I even know if it's real or not because I get texted from a police officer. So if you're going to call.
Well, we very much appreciate that. It is certainly possible we may reach out to you again. Is that okay?
Please do, yes.
Okay. And the number we use, is that
Yes,
the right
yes.
number?
Me
Okay.
or
And
Jenny,
is it easier with the voicemail situation? Should we call? Should we text?
Texting was better. I have a hard time
Okay.
talking on the phone.
Okay.
I don't know why. It triggers me.
Absolutely.
I tend to sit there and just stare at it ringing. I
Okay.
can't answer it.
Okay.
That's why I have speech to text voicemail too because I can't listen to them.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It triggers the anxiety for some reason. It's not like I got a weird phone call saying my husband was dead or something, or I was there every time something happened. So
Anxiety's weird like that.
yeah, I think it's just not knowing
Sure.
what's on the other line.
Okay.
Other side is what makes it hard. So yeah, the texting works best. Or you
Okay.
can will answer the.
Okay.
He answers the phone calls.
That's
for me
certainly
too.
fine.
So.
Now let me ask you this too. I know it's seems like you do Doordash at night.
Yes.
So when do you sleep?
During the day,
Okay.
in the morning usually.
Okay.
I'm more of a early mornings. It's usually I'm unconscious.
Okay.
I'm out cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will certainly try and reach out to you. When's the best afternoon?
Yeah, afternoons, evenings. Yeah.
We can certainly work around that. As I said, the likelihood is we probably will reach out to you
Yes,
again.
please do. Please, I want to help.
And I keep in touch with you as well. So we may just go through too.
Okay.
We can kind of figure that out. If you have a preference, if you'd rather.
It doesn't matter. It's just anything I can do, I'll come back.
Okay. That's
And
great.
if I think of anything, I will let you guys know.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And so one of the things we always tell people, I know it's been a few days now at this point already, but you're going to keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
and
it keeps
it's not
replaying.
helpful for your anxiety. I fully understand, but it's just one of those things that's
It's
going
going
to
to
happen.
happen. Yeah.
If you think of anything else, if anything else comes to mind, reach out. We'll give you, Brett will give you a business card, and you'll have Tamara's information as well. You can reach Tamara, you can reach Brett.
Of course.
But anytime, day or night, just call
Okay.
or text. If you want to text and say, hey, I thought of something, that's fine. It's probably easier to do that than to actually text the information to
Yeah.
us, if that's okay with
Yeah,
you.
that's fine.
Okay. It may be something, if you don't mind, if you know it's us calling and you're expecting that call, if that's okay to have a conversation, just so you don't have to come in.
Yeah,
you don't
it just
need to.
depends with the phone call thing.
Okay.
I wish there was a rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes I can answer that phone and I have no problem.
That's fine.
But I'm the boss.
Yep.
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, and I can't do it.
That's totally understandable.
And so, yeah. But, yeah.
Can I ask if there's anything that you do to kind of help that anxiety? Do you have any
I've
resources
been
for that?
trying as much as I can to do things, but it's been hard.
Interesting line of questioning there. And they redacted it. They're really trying to clock this girl and get a gauge on her. Uh-oh, that was my kiddo. So what happened between this interview and when she got pulled over to where she thought she parked next to the guy? Because that really blew everybody's mind when they heard that, right? That she said she parked right next to the guy, that Brian Koberger guy that killed those kids in Idaho. We're like, damn, Molly, you were that close. Trials approaching. Social media has been, some of them have accused Doordash driver from the beginning of time. I'd be a bit nervous too. I don't know. Did it cause her to feel some kind of way? And, well, all this last bit of information is redacted, and that was, going to be the end of that interview. It was pretty intriguing the way they went about that whole process with her right there. And I would hope that they did the other two witnesses the same way, because you literally only have three. Two that were in the house and one that was outside the house. We got to figure out if anybody else was there, and if they were, who were they? We've got some things to ponder. All right. Yeah, you don't want to come at this witness too hard, because you got to get to the bottom if they really know anything or were they involved in any kind of way, right? Scare them. Not everybody goes in hard with that read technique right out of the not right out of the gate, right? They can go into that later if we need to. Yeah, I have the one where the traffic stop and what she said during the traffic stop. That's a good idea, Rach. I will not be available this weekend to do anything. I've got a lot to do this weekend. And I need to get it all done by Sunday evening, because I want to be able to go live Monday. So I'm gonna be busy this weekend. So I'll have that. Let me make a note of that. Do comparison. Anytime you guys want to see something done, ask me. Say, hey, what about this? What about that? And we'll make it happen if we can do that. For those of you who came in to tune into true crime and have a conversation about true crime, I really appreciate you showing back up. Because I'm fully aware of what's happening on the streets today and what everybody's still talking about and what's swallowing up the algorithm. And I had a choice about what I did today when I came out here, like I do every day. And I also have a choice about how I react to things when I see them happening around me that people think I don't see. So I hope you all enjoyed today's show, and please hit the like button. And Butterfly, thank you for gifting out memberships. I hope they went to people who want to be here. As we continue to unpack this mystery that's Brian C. Koberger, right? And y'all know to be safe on them YouTube streets. There's danger lurking everywhere, and people aren't always what they seem to be, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I'll see y'all come Monday. Be safe out there.
Thank you.